Hi, my name is Nadia and I'm 17 years old. I'm here at the National Conference for Media Reform in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm here with some of the media and just to talk a little bit about what's happening and what's going on and what it is that we're doing and what it is that the people involved here do. So if you would introduce yourself, tell me who you're with and what it is that you do.
Well, thank you, Nadia. I appreciate being here with you and the folks who are watching us. My name is Andres Thomas Conteris. I work with Democracy Now! In Spanish, and our job is to get out independent media in this country, in the United States, as well as around the world. We started a bilingual program to get the word out in Spanish because so much of the news that we are getting out impacts the Spanish-speaking community, both in the United States and around the hemisphere, and indeed around the world.
So can you tell us a little bit about why you're here?
Well, Nadia, I'm here because so many of us are here because we really are very much concerned about the role of media in this country. We believe that it needs to be changed. We believe that reform is necessary because the owners of those who speak for us are becoming fewer and fewer, and those of us who want to give voice to the voiceless need to demand that the airwaves be public and that they not be controlled by a small minority of people who mostly do it through money and power. And so we are here as Democracy Now! And as many other organizations that have independent media as their forte, as their strong point, because we want others to know that we are there, and we want to spread the word. We want to spread the news about independence in telling the stories that are untold. We believe that young people have very much a role in this, and that their voices need to be heard, and independent media is a way to do that. So Democracy Now! Is one of many sources to which young and others can go in order to see a different perspective.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the events that led you to where you're at now, which is working for Democracy Now!
Well, I really had my life changed when I was just about your own age, Nadia. When I was just around 17 years old, my uncle was taken as prisoner in Uruguay, South America. At that time, there was a dictatorship that was supported in part by the United States government, and he ended up being imprisoned illegally. He was very brutally tortured. And what I discovered is that how is it that my family can be touched by U.S. foreign policy in such a direct way? And so I changed my life in very concrete ways, and I started organizing human rights campaigns. Amnesty International, the United Nations Human Rights Commission, the World Association of Christians Against Torture, the Human Rights Law Group. These are just a few of the organizations that became involved because I and others became part of this campaign to tell this story. And so later in my life, I realized that telling the story is such an important part in trying to bring change. Because if you don't make a concrete presentation about what is really happening, people really don't care. I ended up knocking on doors of members of Congress, senators and representatives, and saying, look, this is my uncle illegally, unjustly, and you need to sign a letter. We had a quarter of the United States Senate signed a letter on his behalf, and hundreds of members of Congress as well. So that experience really taught me that as a youth, I really could advocate in a very, very strong way. And so I ended up deciding more recently to start getting involved in independent media because giving voice to the voiceless is an important part of bringing social change in the world. And the way we can do that is by organizing together, make sure that the large corporations do not monopolize the media as Clear Channel does right there in San Antonio, Texas. We need to really say to the corporations, we believe that the airwaves are public, they belong to the people, and we have a right to tell our story from our perspective and not just from the perspective of the powerful.